Well, today I'm going to clean up underneath this Cub Cadet. I'm going to take the mulching blades off, sharpen them up. And normally in the past what I do is I'll drive this thing up onto, some car ramps and then get up under it, but it's still not high enough for me to get the impact driver under it to take the nuts off so I can get to the blades. And it's just a pain in the butt. You got to get under there and scrape all that old crappy grass that's stuck in there. So I'm going to try using Big Red or Little Red, whatever you want to call her out there. I'm going to lift the front end of this thing up, maybe have some more space under it. Try to brace it so if it lets go, I'm not going to get crushed under it, but so that gives me a lot more clearance. Now these ramps aren't touching the bucket, but it's only there so if the bucket drops it won't go all the way to the ground. This should be easy. My only concern is can the engine sit like this for very long. I don't want any oil coming out anywhere. So we'll find out. There's nothing down there yet. All right, here we go. All right, so I got the bench grinder set up. Got my impact driver. What is this? 5/16 socket. And this here. This is important for balancing your blades. So you want to check them after you grind off some metal. Make sure they're not totally out of whack, because that'll make your lawnmower vibrate when they're spinning. Wire brush if you need it for anything. I probably won't use that, but I'm going to get under that and scrape it with a putty knife and get all the grass out too. So it's probably going to be a mess. All right. Set you up here. So I can get a good look. Try to go wide angle. The grass isn't clumped up too bad, but bad enough to be a problem. I can't see what the camera's looking at. But yeah, when you start clumping grass and it bogs down the mower and spitting out a bunch of grass clippings and spots, it's probably a good time to get under here and clean it out thoroughly and sharpen your blades. And remember, don't cut your grass when it's wet, so that makes it a lot worse. Okay. Before you take the blades off, make sure the key's off, PTO gear's off. And they say to unplug your spark plugs, but I'm going to start by taking the blades out. It'd be easier to scrape all this grass off without the blades. Impact driver is way better for this sort of thing. It's like a pneumatic wrench, at the auto shops, where just it pounds on it and it helps break it free. Otherwise, you got to use a big long, like breaker bar on these things. They get pretty tight, like lug nuts. And as you see, come off pretty easy. You get a washer, nut. And there's grooves in these, so they can only go on one way. So that makes it nice. And then the washer and the nut go on last. Okay, now let's go to the other blade. There's 3 of them in here. That one is a bit stubborn. That one was easy. Putty knife works pretty good. Sometimes a big long screwdriver helps too. Flathead. Now I always hose this off after every mow, and that usually does a pretty good job. But if you wait too long to cut the grass, it gets long, wet, and this happens. Last time I came down here to sharpen my blades, there wasn't any grass. I didn't have to scrape anything off. I was amazed. I was all ready to do it. It was spotless. And that's just from sticking a hose up under it after I cut the grass. But this stuff's too thick. The hose doesn't get this out. I've tried.
I'll speed this video up, because you're not going to want to see me do this the whole time. You get the gist.
Nice thing about using the tractor too is when I put this lawnmower down, move it out of the way, I can just sweep all this grass into the bucket, take it somewhere and dump it. It's the good old Yanmar. What is it? 425 SA. This is the worst part about it, owning one of these lawnmowers. Or probably any riding lawnmower. They're just a bitch to clean. I got, let's see, 2.5 acres and about, I don't know, at least one full acre of grass. And on a really good day where it's not long grass, it's easy to cut, it's not wet, I can whip it out in about an hour, between an hour and an hour and a half. Hour and a half is kind of my average. And sometimes it feels like it takes longer than that just to do this part, but you don't do this every time. But it's so much fun. I'm thinking about calling my neighbor over and say, hey man, you want to try this out? It's lots of fun. I don't want to take it all away from you. Get in here and help yourself. There's a lot of overlapping, like plastic and the metal deck in here. There's places for the grass to get caught up in. Could take this off. It's the mulching thing where it keeps the grass inside the mower deck. But I always struggle putting it back on. So for that, just do it this way. Don't let this discourage anyone from buying one of these. It's an awesome mower. I just need to work on a way to keep this mower deck clean. There's stuff you can get, sprays. You know, it's like a Teflon coating or something. But I've seen mixed reviews on all that stuff. You might be able to spray it with Pam. I don't know. But it might even give it something to adhere to. Stick on. Can see, I don't know, well, maybe you can't see, but there's a hill way out there. It's a little hazy. We got wildfire smoke coming from the Lake Chelan area, I think. But surprisingly, I don't smell it. Normally I smell it, but it's moderate level right now. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side since my impact driver's over here. See, that's going on one way. If I turn it over, it won't actually fit the key. There's a slot. I don't know if you can see it, but it only allows it to go on one way. There. You don't have to find the key right there. Just get the nut going on it to hold it. Now it's loose. Turn it. You'll know when it falls into that key. My camera's in the way. Right there. Hold it there. Tighten the nut to hold it in. Grab the impact driver. And give it a good spin. That was probably loud. I try to put the washer and the nut on there like that. So you do this one-handed. Okay, good. Yeah. Put it upside down. Remember I said it only goes on one way? It's a good little tractor. Be amazed at the things you can find uses for this. When you get one, you got to use it. It's more than just digging holes. It's hauling stuff around. It's lifting lawnmowers so you can clean under them. Just remember to put something underneath that, because this can drop without the engine running. It breaks off. Yeah, someone bumps that or something. Doesn't matter whether the key's on or not, so you gotta be careful. There it goes. So yeah, just make sure you have something underneath that bucket. Plus a hydraulic line could pop or something. And you don't want to be under it when it does. You want to have something to protect it. It'll protect you from it rolling on you, falling on you. Drive over some weeds. Got to keep this path looking like a path. This is the access to the backside of the property without driving all over the lawn. air filter quick clean. If you have an air compressor handy, you blow it out, but I don't feel like charging my air compressor. So I got this thing that goes on the outside. I just give it a beat. Well, I hope you enjoyed going through that little fiasco with the Cub Cadet 0-turn. It's a good little lawnmower, but it's a real bitch cleaning it. And not everyone's gonna have a tractor to lift it up like that. But you can use rams, but they usually get in the way. Just do your best, be safe. And remember, don't cut wet grass. Don't let it get too long. That's what I did. You know, I get a little lazy once in a while and then I pay for it. This is the front. Neighbors are still trying to get their grass growing. It looks like the weeds started growing before the grass did, though. So this is only about half the grass. There's just as much, if not more, in the back and over on the side over here. Guess I can take a walk. Yeah. Some fruit trees. It's a little harder to mow out here because this is where the 0-turn comes in handy. So you can try to whip around all the obstacles. Got the septic pipes, fruit trees. It's a real pain in the butt. If I didn't have all that stuff, it'd probably take me 45 minutes to mow the whole thing on a good day. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Learned by my mistakes. Don't let it get that bad. All right, guys. See you later.